Swatting is a dangerous prank that involves making false reports of emergencies to law enforcement agencies, schools, hospitals, or other public places. Swatting can cause panic, fear, and disruption to the people and communities affected by it. On Wednesday, May 31, 2023, 6 schools and a hospital in Edmonton were targeted by swatting incidents that resulted in lockdowns, evacuations, and delays. According to Edmonton police, the swatting incidents originated from an international source and were not credible threats. However, they still had to respond to each call with caution and treat it as a potential emergency. This meant deploying a large number of officers and resources to secure the scenes and ensure the safety of students, staff, and patients. The first swatting call was received at around 9:30 a.m., reporting a shooting at Northmount School in North Edmonton. The school was immediately placed on lockdown, and police arrived shortly after. They searched the building and found no evidence of any shooting or injuries. The lockdown was lifted at around 10:45 a.m., and students were allowed to resume their classes. The second swatting call was received at around 10:15 a.m., reporting a bomb threat at St. Joseph High School in central Edmonton. The school was evacuated and police searched the premises with bomb-sniffing dogs. They found no explosives or suspicious devices. The evacuation was lifted at around 11:30 a.m., and students were allowed to return to their school. The third swatting call was received at around 10:45 a.m., reporting a hostage situation at Royal Alexandra Hospital in downtown Edmonton. The hospital was locked down and police surrounded the building. They contacted the hospital staff and confirmed that there was no hostage situation or any other danger. The lockdown was lifted at around 12 p.m., and the hospital resumed its normal operations. The fourth swatting call was received at around 11:15 a.m., reporting a shooting at Jasper Place High School in West Edmonton. The school was locked down, and police arrived on scene. They searched the school and found no signs of any shooting or injuries. The lockdown was lifted at around 12:30 p.m., and students were allowed to continue their day. The fifth swatting call was received at around 11:45 a.m., reporting a bomb threat at McNally High School in East Edmonton. The school was evacuated and police searched the area with bomb-sniffing dogs. They found no explosives or suspicious devices. The evacuation was lifted at around 1 p.m., and students were allowed to go back to their school. The sixth swatting call was received at around 12:15 p.m., reporting a shooting at Ross Shepherd High School in north central Edmonton. The school was locked down, and police arrived on scene. They searched the school and found no evidence of any shooting or injuries. The lockdown was lifted at around 1:30 p.m., and students were allowed to finish their day. The swatting incidents caused significant disruption to the 6 schools and the hospital, as well as anxiety and stress to the students, staff, and patients who were affected by them. Police said they are investigating the source of the calls and will pursue charges if possible. They also warned that swatting is a serious offense that can have severe consequences for both the perpetrators and the victims. The Edmonton Police Service, EPS, is investigating the threats that disrupted 6 schools and a hospital in Edmonton on Wednesday as swatting incidents. Swatting is a term used to describe the criminal act of deceiving a law enforcement agency to respond to false threats. EPS said the threats were not credible and there was no risk to public safety. EPS said it is working with other law enforcement agencies, including the RCMP and the FBI, to identify and locate the source of the calls. EPS said it takes swatting incidents very seriously and will pursue charges against anyone responsible for making false reports. Swatting incidents are not new in Alberta. In February 2022, for schools in Edmonton and Grande Prairie were targeted by swatting calls that originated from the United States. In September 2019, a family in Leduc was surrounded by armed police after an apparent swatting incident. Hospitals in Edmonton and Calgary have also been targeted by swatting incidents in the past. Swatting incidents can have serious consequences for public safety and resources. They can cause panic, trauma, and disruption for the people affected by the false threats. They can also divert police resources from real emergencies and put officers and civilians at risk of injury or death. EPS is asking anyone with information about the swatting incidents to contact them at 780-423-4567 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222. Tips can also be submitted online.